All right, did everybody have a chance to get the note sheet into Notability?
Indeed.
Okay.
Is it instant?
It's 2 pages, yeah. So, anyways, can anybody remember from the video we watched, what was the policy of appeasement? Yes, both of
It
you.
was basically the they, like America, England, and France, just letting Germany do whatever they want to like please Germany so that they would avoid war.
Right, so you said all the major points. Casey, please be quiet. So, essentially the best way to summarize this and put it in that opening box is it was when the Western powers allowed Germany to break the rules of the Treaty of Versailles in order to avoid war. So I repeat, it was when the Western powers allowed Germany to break the rules of the Treaty of Versailles to avoid another war. They were appeasing to Hitler's wishes. Right? The policy of appeasement.
Wait, where do I find this?
It is called Policy of Appeasement Note Sheet. So anyways, what was the main thing regarding the military in the Treaty of Versailles? Does anybody remember that? What was it, Justin?
We couldn't go over 100,000 troops. They couldn't mass produce tanks or planes.
Right. They basically couldn't have a real military. All right. The first thing Hitler is going to do is he's just going to disregard that and start building the biggest military the world had ever seen. So he built tons of tanks, airplanes, started recruiting and training soldiers, and they weren't really following those rules of the Treaty of Versailles at all. Hitler had a good sense that no one was going to stop him if he did it. So therefore, he could just continue to break the rules without really caring about it. His purpose for building this army was that he wanted to expand the borders of Germany and unite the Germanic peoples. So he knew that there was different areas that he thought should be German, so that's what he was going to do. He's going to take over quite a few places, and it's the Western powers of the world that are essentially going to allow him to do this. The first place he's going to take is the Rhineland. This looks familiar, it's because it's right below what is appeasement on the board. Okay, the Rhineland is this area in western Germany that you can see on this map. That was that coal, that was those coal mines and all the industrial areas that France took away from them. You guys remember that? Okay, so that's the first thing he's going to do. He sends his military in there. There's basically no resistance at all from the French military, and they just let him have it back. All right, the next thing he's going to do is take Austria. Does anybody know why he would want to take Austria? Why, Wolfie?
Because they wanted to be German, and they said we'll provide you with soldiers, basically.
Okay, so they definitely did have ties to Germany and would be interested in becoming German. Also, Hitler was born in Austria, so he's actually Austrian. He's not really German. Okay, he was from Vienna. And the people of Austria cheered when his military came through the streets of Vienna and took that land over. All right, so the next place he's going to take is the Sudetenland. The Sudetenland is this area right on the outside of Czechoslovakia. And the reason why this was an important place for him to take over was because it was primarily German people, and it was land that was taken from Germany after the Treaty of Versailles. So that is spelled S-U-D-E-T. E-N and then land. Oh wow, that's such a big gap. Okay. Sudetenland. Alright, so he's going to meet with the Prime Minister of England to try to get that land back, and that's the part from the video where you guys actually saw that Munich conference, and he's going to give him the land back. All right, so he says, you know, give us the territory back as long as it's 50% German, and he agreed. Very shortly after the Sudetenland was given to Hitler, his military is going to invade Czechoslovakia.
I'm sure the Czechs.
Yeah, you could just write Czechs, that's fine. Okay, and after he takes over Czechoslovakia, the Western powers like, okay, this is kind of like, this is getting ridiculous, it's going too far. And then when he invades Poland, they're going to declare war, and World War II is going to officially begin, ending the policy of appeasement. What's very interesting about the policy of appeasement is actually that it was all approved by the Western powers, and the biggest person who was part of it is the English Prime Minister Neville Chamberlain. All right, so he's kind of the person who always gets credited for the policy of appeasement. What you will be looking at today is was the policy of appeasement the right decision in 1938? I want you to consider yourself or think of it from the perspective of maybe an advisor to Neville Chamberlain. Would it be a good idea to, you know, use this policy of appeasement? Obviously, looking back on it after the fact, it might seem like, okay, obviously that was a bad idea to let Hitler, you know, get that control that territory and expand his power. But at the time being, would it be worth fighting back in order to get the land back, or to prevent him from getting the land? So how you're going to do this is on the second page, you'll see there's that question that's also up there on the board. You're going to write in one paragraph some advice to Neville Chamberlain. You will support your argument with the other PDF with documents on it in the assignment description. So if you go there on Canvas, you'll see there's 4 different documents. If you should argue one way or the other using support from at least 2. 2 of the documents are in support, 2 are against it. Does anybody know who was Neville Chamberlain's biggest opponent to using the policy of appeasement? That was also in the video.
I forgot his name.
Winston Churchill, very good. So one of the sources will make reference to that just so you understand it. Feel free to bring it up early. If you want me to review over your answer, I'll give you some feedback on it to make sure that you did it well. So feel free to bring it up, and I'd be more than happy to help you guys.